Madam City Clerk.
A quorum is present.
Thank you. My name is Jesse Minardi. I'm an election attorney representing Mr. Butts in this matter, and I would request an additional few minutes just so we can adequately communicate our severe constitutional concerns over
3 minutes.
See, now, that is exactly indicative of what is the problem with this entire process.
Excuse me, you're here to address the council on an agenda item, identify the item you're addressing, and you have the minutes.
The item is the consideration of the clerk's report, CC-1.
Okay.
With respect to the City Council's determination as to whether to declare that Mr. Butts is a candidate for the runoff election in August. And the inability of myself to get an additional few minutes is indicative of the problem of this entire process, which is basically, make no mistake, what is happening here, and we've looked at the papers, is that the City Council is deciding whether to rob my client of his First Amendment constitutional right to be a candidate in the August 17th runoff election. And they're doing it without any respect for his due process rights. You can now make no mistake that the right to run in an election is a fundamental First Amendment right that courts have historically sided on the side. They always say, let the guy run if there's any ambiguity. You look at the clerk's record here, and it, at best, is unclear as to what the clerk thinks was the actual date of registration, at best, if you give her the benefit of the doubt. And that, if there is any ambiguity, this body is required by First Amendment law to let Mr. Butts run for office. And the problem is that this body is going to make the decision without respect to his due process rights. And that is an abuse of discretion, and it violates those rights. I mean, as an initial matter, there are 3 members of this body who will make the decision whether he can appear on the ballot who ran directly against Mr. Butts. Is that fair? Is that due process? Is that impartial? It is not. More broadly, was Mr. Butts given any notice at all, in advance to this meeting, that he would risk not being on the ballot on August 17th? No notice at all. Was he given the ability to question the clerk, to ask the clerk questions? Was he given the ability to ask the registrar questions? No. He is going to get 3 minutes to make his case, and he will make it in 3 minutes, but that is not respect for his due process rights. Violation of due process rights, violation of First Amendment rights, and disenfranchisement of the 2,400 people who voted for Mr. Butts. The clerk's proposal would just take those votes away after they happened. Now, you simply cannot do that. Take somebody's First Amendment rights away, take away the rights of the 2,400 people who voted, and not respect the due process rights of Mr. Butts. What should you do? Well, if there is a dispute, the fair thing is probably to have a court decide. And believe me, we know that.
Time is up. Thank you very much.
The right thing is to let him run.
Time is up. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Robert Cole, please. Next is Mary Wynn.
Thank you, members of the council. My name is Robert Cole, and I am the campaign manager for Mr. Butts. This campaign has had to overcome many hurdles along the way. My candidate was not a career politician at all. We didn't get any support from any of the elected officials. There were malicious and false rumors about Mr. Butts and his ex-wife and child circling.
City that we all love and enjoy living in. It is time for change, and I encourage you to do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is James Butts, followed by Richard Cavalier, and then Gil Matthews. Mr. Butts.
Mayor Pro Tem, if I could make a slight request before I start.
What is that?
The first notice that I had of the city clerk's report was when it was released to the internet like everyone else. And there were aspersions made basically to my character and credibility that I was not allowed to respond in kind, so that could be posted as well. So I would like to ask your indulgence for an extra minute so that I can respond in full and give my information.
Give him 4 minutes as the chair.
Good evening. My name is James Butts, and I currently live at 2512 West 102nd Street in Inglewood. I'm a former 5-year resident of the city. 3 of my children were educated here at various stages in their education. I'm a candidate for mayor in the runoff election on August 17th. Council will discuss tonight the city clerk's report from July 20th, a report not seen by me until it was posted on the internet. I've had no opportunity for clarification or rebuttal, and you sit poised to potentially overturn the will of 2,471 voters who voted for me, effectively denying them their Fourth Amendment rights to equal protection under the law. I want to address 2 issues in this report: my date of registration change requested, and the clerk's references to my declining her request to file an affidavit. I moved to Inglewood in the first week of February, filed to have my voter registration change effective February 6th, a Saturday, because I knew my move would be completed by Saturday. I didn't want anyone to say he doesn't really live here, but he filed to vote here. I filed my paperwork with the city clerk's office on or about March 10th. While at the clerk's office, a verification check of my residency and registration on file with the LA County Registrar's Office was conducted. I stood not far from the clerk when she called the Registrar's Office. She stated words to the effect that this is the Inglewood Clerk's Office conducting a residence and voter registration check for a candidate in the Inglewood mayoral election. She gave my name and at some point mentioned my address. Whether this was her giving the address or responding to the address that was given, I do not know. She asked for the date of voter registration. She then hung up the phone. The entire process took about a minute to 90 seconds at most. She came back to the counter and stated that everything checked out and accepted my $2,100 filing cashier's check. I campaigned, raised money, and spent my own money, and finished second in the June 8th race, collecting over 2,400 votes. 2 weeks after the election, I was called by the city clerk, Yvonne Horton, who said she needed to meet with me at 9 a.m. in her office the next day to discuss an issue. When I arrived, she was with Fred Wucher, an elections attorney. She stated that a complaint had been made regarding the timeliness of my voter registration filing. She also stated that an honest mistake had been made by the county in providing my registration filing date. She handed me a copy of my old voter registration card from 5825 Shenandoah in Los Angeles, that is now on the internet, by the way, and stated that the county had verified my date from this card, which is December 29, 2006. I knew immediately that this was not plausible, having stood and listened to the conversation. How could 2 people have a conversation, the primary purpose of which was to verify a registration address in Inglewood without talking about the address? My registration card from Shenandoah has no reference to Inglewood. Ms. Horton then proceeded to tell me that the county had retrospectively determined that they could only verify my filing date as February 12, 2010, 4 days too late, as that was the date the information was entered into their computer, as they could not determine when and how they received the request. Since this information was in their records on March 10th when I filed my candidate papers, I would understand it if this was the date that was given, if the county truly felt that way at that time. But they didn't. If they'd given that date, I would not have been allowed to run. So I knew that neither of these 2 dates had been given by the Registrar's Office. Ms. Horton and Mr. Wucher then pressed me to complete an affidavit of the facts of my filing. I was not represented by counsel, and I was guarded, believing that the facts were being misrepresented to obtain the facts. Excuse me. I was not represented by counsel, and I was guarded, believing the facts were being misrepresented to obtain a desired outcome. I declined to provide an affidavit and said I wanted to consult with counsel. After research, I became aware that there were notes in my computer file with the registrar indicating a registration change date of February 6, 2010, and had a photo taken of that information from the screen. I also consulted an attorney who stated the preparation of an affidavit would cost me $3,000 and advised against submitting my information to an investigation where the facts were obviously being manipulated.
Thank you very much.
As a note,
thank you very much.
if I could have one more minute.
I gave you the 1 minute. I gave you the 1 minute. I'm sorry. No, they did not. They rewound it again. Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're about to disenfranchise 2,400 people.
Thank you very much.
Give me 30 seconds.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.